Good afternoon. And today it's Tuesday. We're celebrating knowing what day of the week is. And Tuesday's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, a meditation, a little bit of me guiding you with a track towards inner peace. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I just have a little chat often about what I'm learning, because I'm opening myself up to new learning all the time and enjoying chatting to you about what's settling into my mind. So yesterday, started a program with Michael Neal. You'll have heard me probably mention Michael Neal before. So he's, I guess, the person who I'm most connected with regards to the 3 principles that I talk about here. And he's running a program at the moment, which is called A Whole New Way of Thinking About Success. And now I think, like many of us, when I think about that word success, I think I have massively changed my relationship with that word over time. So I'm pretty sure that the kind of background of me having that massive kind of burnout and breakdown in March 2015 was that I had this concept of success that I was driving myself towards. And I think, like many of us, thinking that once I got to this particular point in life, so whether that was through my personal life or professional life or how my kids were or whatever, that I would then suddenly feel happy. And of course, it doesn't quite work that way. So I guess the first thing to the people I've got to say hello, if you're watching, I can see that you are, but I don't know who you are. So I guess that's the first question, is what do you see that word meaning? What does success mean to you? Because I think the first book that I read that started me challenging that concept of success, that concept that success was about achieving things and being things and doing certain things and perhaps having a certain level of income and 2.4 children, a house and a car and all those trappings of the kind of materialistic stuff. The first book that really challenged my ideas about that I read quite a long time ago, it's called The Happiness Advantage, by a guy called Sean Aker. Hi Julie, nice to see you watching. So Sean Aker in that book talks about, he kind of flips it on its head initially and talks about the fact that we think with success, and hi Donna too, with success comes happiness. And I think we're taught that, aren't we? I think probably from being very, very young, those thoughts are shared with us, possibly by parents and teachers and other people, that we should strive for this thing called success. But of course, that's just a created, hi Amanda, that is just something that is created by other people's thinking, by thinking it's not real. That the concept of success in that sense isn't real. So in The Happiness Advantage, he talks about the reverse, really. He says that we think, or we're taught that by being increasingly successful in that kind of materialistic, get all your ducks in a row kind of a way, that we will then feel happy. And you only have to look around the world to see that there are an awful lot of people with all those trappings, every single one of them. They've got the house and the car and looks like all their ducks are in a row. And those are the people often seeking help or terrified that they're going to lose all of that. So they're not happy either. And, whilst we obviously have, practically feels like we need money for certain things, that having all those things clearly doesn't make you happy, because lots of people with all those things aren't happy. So what does that mean about success? So for me, has meant a real shifting of my concept of success, especially at the moment. So like many people, there's been a bit of a slowing up in the arrival of new clients, and which in many ways has been lovely, because it's given me some time to just settle and do some things for me and spend some time with my family who are here, and that's been lovely, and still is lovely actually. So now my idea of success is much more about my well-being, I guess. It's still a thought-created concept, but it's more about wanting to get up every day, feeling as good as possible in each moment. This sense of inner peace that I now have, and I guess love comes into my concept of success now, and absolutely nothing to do with materialism or certificates or that kind of thing really connects with me anymore as a concept of success. So I'm glad I've got a few of you watching actually. Do you have any, does that make sense? And have you any thoughts on perhaps how your concept of success has changed over the years? What makes you feel successful? Be good if somebody's brave and pops something in the comments about how they relate to that word. And the other thing to realize about any word is that a word and a definition of a word and a concept of a word is still created by thinking. Somebody somewhere created this concept of what success is, and popped it out there into the world, and then we all kind of took it, and then 7 billion people in all different languages around the world created a concept of what that meant to them. Still, none of that is real. None of it is real. It's all made up. And what can happen with this idea, this thought about success, is that once we have a thought of what success is, if we then think that we're not meeting that, that can create some level of negative thinking about ourselves. It can stop us feeling as peaceful as we might want to feel, because then there's all that thought up here about the fact that we haven't achieved what we think we should be achieving. And for me, just the first sort of conversations I had around this with a coach was around procrastination, and having this sense that I should be doing certain things in every day, that I had these things that I should be doing. I had lists and plans and 12-week year plans and all sorts of other things related to my business particularly that I thought I should be doing. And when I didn't do them, when I failed, I suppose, to meet my criteria for success on a day-to-day basis, I felt pretty horrible about myself actually, and berated myself, and did that whole right, well, you'll do better tomorrow kind of thing. And I think now success is being okay with what is. So I'm making some updates to my website and doing some tweaking, and I'm kind of setting out each day to just do a bit of that. And I do a bit of it. And if I don't do all that I need to do, if I don't do all of it, or I've still got some bits that need to be done another day, then that's okay. It's okay, that. And I feel fine about it. Which is very different to how I would have felt in the past, where I would have completely berated myself and beaten myself up. And perhaps you can give me a thumbs up if you can relate to beating yourself up because you haven't got something done that you think you should have done. I've got an oh heck from Julie. I'm loving to know. I'd love to know, Julie, what the oh heck is in reference to. That's great. I love that. Yeah. So yeah. Oh heck. I hope that's a realization. I quite like that. So let me know, Julie, what oh heck is for. What that's about. I guess that is amusing me, because I think as I've settled into this idea that I'm creating every one of my experiences through my thoughts, then I've had a lot of oh heck moments, an awful lot of moments where I've just gone, oh my goodness, really? That's how I've been relating to the world, and that's not felt good. And I've created all that through my thinking. Wow. Yeah. Oh, Julie says beating yourself up. So I think there's something there about beating you. So create what you're doing with your thinking is you're creating a goal for yourself that you've created yourself, and then you're beating yourself up because you haven't create with your thinking, of course, that you haven't met this job list, whatever that you've created. So you create it with your thinking, and then you think badly of yourself because you haven't done it, and all of that is created in thought. So it's all just a big thought storm that then creates some pleasant feelings in your body, and stops you feeling as positive and as peaceful as you might want to feel. So when you look at it like that, it can feel mildly amusing that we've done that to ourselves for so many years, because I've definitely done that to myself for so many years, and I now smile at it almost, because it is quite funny that we do that to ourselves, that we create this idea of what good looks like, and then when we aren't good, we think we've done badly. And I guess whether, and then you get mail, and Julie says, and then you feel sad and you feel miserable. You don't feel good about yourself, and that can then be an experience in the body. And if that perpetuates, of course, we end up having a lot of those kind of thoughts, and that can drag us down quite a bit, I think, physically and emotionally. And one place where I see this a lot, which is quite funny, that I meet a lot of people when I'm out networking, people who will tell their story of why they left employment, and a lot of those stories are about, a horrible boss who wasn't kind to them, and eventually just went, I've had enough, and I'm not doing this anymore. I'm gonna set up my own business, and then off they go, and they think they're going to be all free and happy, and of course what they do is they become their own worst boss, and they create all these targets and goals for themselves, and then they beat themselves up for not doing it. And the thing is with having yourself as a terrible boss is that you're with yourself all the flipping time. So you can't actually escape this terrible boss that you've created for yourself. And it can be, expectations is a great word, Donna, because that's what we're doing with our thinking. We're creating expectations of ourselves, and then we think we haven't met them, and so then we feel terrible. And it is a funny little cycle that we're creating for ourselves. And I think I definitely started off in business in that, and probably was for a good few years in that phase of, I making all these expectations of myself, and then feeling terrible when I didn't do them because I procrastinated, or as I used to call it, I don't really call it procrastinating anymore. I just call it following my intuition. So there's nothing to do about any of this other than just have that awareness of your own thinking around this issue. What does success mean to you? What does it really look like? And understanding that even with a concept that you create about success, that's still created in thought anyway. And perhaps success isn't the thing that actually does make you feel good. For me, it's definitely quietness and peace, and just feeling good in every moment, doing what feels right in each moment. I think a lot of thought about success is because we're galloping off into the future. So we're saying, right, I need to have done X, Y, and Z by a week next Tuesday. And then when we don't, but because we don't know what we're going to be like between now and next Tuesday, we don't know whether we're going to feel like doing that thing, or be well enough to do it, or have the time to do it, or know how long it's going to take. We then feel terrible because we haven't done that thing. But that's masses of that thinking, is thinking about the future. And more, when I sit down to chat to you on these videos, I just kind of have an idea of what I'm going to talk about, and then I kind of go from what you say and what just comes into my mind, and it feels intuitive. I feel connected to myself, and I feel connected to whatever it is that's guiding me, to say something that I hope pops with one of you, and you have that oh heck moment. that Julie had. I hope she's settling into that I hope you're settling into that, Julie, as something positive there, that actually you don't have to do that anymore. Being a little bit of a watcher of your own thinking is really powerful with this, and that's, I guess, what I invite you to do now, is just to be, just to be with your own thinking. And that's lovely. I'm just going to pause in my sentence there, because it says peace, good health, contentment, and going with the flow. Nice. That is nice. Yeah. I think contentment's nice. I think it's not better than happiness, but it's just got a different energy to it. Like a contentment feels like a settling into just being, whereas happiness always has me a bit like Tony Robbins, happy clappy kind of stuff. It isn't always how it can be, but just being content, and accepting maybe as well. So I just invite you to just allow that to settle, and just realize that there's nothing to do. And that's where the difference with this kind of conversation and lots of other kinds of therapy or ways of working or other styles of coaching, even, that there's nothing really to do other than just to be, and to just notice what comes up over the next few days. I'm on a 3-week program with Michael Neal. So every day from 4 till 5, he goes live into on a Zoom call with about 400 people. But I still managed to get my questions in. You have to put your blue hand up very quick. And that. So I think over this 3 weeks, my ideas about success will be changing, I think, and developing. But I already feel quite settled into that a lot of it's just about being, and like those things that Donna says, that the peace, the good health, the contentment, and going with the flow are great. So, you know where I am. If you want to reach out, just, send me a message or pop something in the group. And always, as for any of you, there is always an hour with me if you want to come and have a longer chat about anything that's coming up for you at the moment. Because I love you all, and that's not said glibly or in a kind of woo-woo way. It's just like, I just feel a lot of love for people who turn up and listen to me rambling on about stuff, which is great. So it's walk time for me now. I went for a walk in the rain yesterday, which was a bit drizzly, but it was all right, actually. It was good to get outside. I hope you've got something lovely planned for the rest of your day. And just, even if it's just for the rest of the day, do what feels right in the moment. Just do what comes up and what feels good, and see where that takes you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I shall see you tomorrow at the usual time for a lovely spot of meditation. Take care. I'm going to just say take care, because that's what I say to everybody anyway. Even on my emails, I sign off with take care. So take care, and go with peace. Thank you.